I'm not sure exactly when it happened, but at some point I imagined myself throwing a ball like that. I imagined and I observed. So I thought, well, what would happen if you threw it over your shoulder like that? From this to that, and all of a sudden, I thought, it sort of reminds me of something. It reminds me of shifting. I don't know why throwing a ball made that happen, but I guess it must have been when I was practicing a lot of Yoast. There was a point where I did it for an hour and a half a day. Maybe it was there that I saw this and thought about throwing a ball. So I'm sure that you've seen people throw a ball like this or like that. Well, when you throw it like that, the wrist, it gets cocked, and then the elbow launches the arm forward. Because it's launched like that by the elbow, the wrist and fingers stay very relaxed, like this. So why don't we connect this gesture with the gesture needed to shift? I mean, they do look similar, I think. Can you see the similarities between this and this? Well, performing the gesture in this way is extremely important as we truly need the freedom, the relaxation in the fingers and wrist and hand that this promotes. Now, don't be fooled. Though this gesture looks like it originates from the wrist, it's actually originating from the elbow. You see, looks can be very deceiving. So to help us understand this gesture, why don't we look at a little do-ness? Fourth finger. Third finger. Second finger. First finger. Not only does this gesture happen along the fingerboard like this, but you see the body of the instrument, well, it forces, if I want to go higher, it forces my elbow to come underneath because I need to go around the body of the instrument. All right? So why don't we take this thought a little deeper? You see, if we're going up and we're coming back down for the next note, like a, for example. Well, I don't go around because I'm coming back. I stay. My elbow stays. Here, look at it this way. You see, my elbow did not come underneath. It stayed. Well, the other way is if I want to go up, if I want to go up and stay there. My elbow needs to come around for that to happen. So there. Now we have a larger picture. To begin understanding this a little better, I use one-string scales, you know, or scales with one finger. We can do these scales chromatics, like I showed you. We could do them arpeggiated. We could do thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths, sevenths, octaves. We can even replace fingers. This concept I explore in my book on one-string scales. Now that we've begun the understanding of this gesture, we are better prepared to use it in normal scales and arpeggios. For example, if we start with a 2-1-2 fingering, on the A string, there is that 3-1 shift. Okay, let's see how we could work this. Though I don't teach Sevcik, I do use his ideas. For example, this one, I would do for the 3-1 shift, 3, 4, 4, 3, 3, 1, 1, 3. I would use the 4 to identify where I'm going, to locate it. And then I would shift, like I threw my ball, I would shift and put my finger there. It's important as well to go up and to come down. We can learn a lot from doing things the other way. And of course, in that same scale, we have what? Here we go. 2, 3, 2, 1. So or 2, 3. It's at this point that I think I should share with you the parameters of shifting as described by my teacher, Ms. DeLay. First of all, there is the understanding of the distance involved through the motion, through the gesture being used. How far? How far are we going? We have to try to understand that distance. There's a lot of ways to do that. You know, one could say, make a scale. It takes too long. So what about an arpeggio? Still, it's a little tough. What? I'm using those intermediary steps to help me shape my hand. I'm trying to understand the distance. Then there's the understanding of the pressure pattern involved. More weight, less, more. For example, do we slide like I just did, or do we jump? We need to understand which one we're doing. Then we can figure out how to get there. Next would be the choreography of the shift. which we could probably define by our elbow. Remember I was talking about going this way or going this way? Well, choreography. Which way are we doing? There are other possibilities such as the thumb. Being aware of the thumb. Or the wrist. Being aware of it. But as I told you before, I think when we think of throwing, we loosen those things up enough so that we can be aware of them. We don't need to worry about initiating from them, for the most part. Next would be speed. Is it slow, fast, slow, slow, fast, slow? Or is it fast, slow? We need to understand what that speed pattern is. So you see, when I first learned of shifts, they had names like French, Russian, but let's say, let's keep it simple. Let's say that you either shift on the original finger or you go to a new finger. You saw what I did? And I'm shifting on the finger that I'm arriving on. Now, I'm shifting with the finger that I departed from, and now I'm putting the finger into play. Putting that third finger into play. So which one should you use? Well, I believe you should let the music decide. You should let your feeling, your intuition decide. You see, you let what you see in the music and how you wish to portray it make the decision for you. Once you've decided, it will be your observations of what's occurred while you were doing it that will lead you to just how you should proceed to clean it up. Make it more efficient. Make it more effective. Okay, so with that, all that we have said up to now becomes the tools that we will use to create our connections between those scales, those basics, etudes, and our repertory. So why don't we have a look at a few shifts in etudes? Let's start with this etude from Don't Opus 37, number 9. Now, if you notice, my elbow did not go under here. See, it's not moving. I didn't go under the violin. So, why? Because I'm coming back down. Also, do notice that I used my third finger and not my fourth. Why? Well, if you look at your fingers, here, have a look at your fingers. You see? Which one goes further? The fourth finger's having a very hard time being as far as both 2 and 3. In fact, they're longer. How about that? So, using that information, it would just make sense to use the 3 and not the 4. But only because I'm coming back down. All right, let's look at another shift. How about this from Kreutzer? It's number 11. You see what we're doing? We're going from here to here. Well, let's break it down a little bit. Should we be going across the string? No, we're going to go up and over. So here we go. This way I can use my mapping to find the B, and I can find my G sharp, which is whole step, whole step. To go up, same thing going up, and we're simply going to replace I think you hear what I'm doing. Here, let me do it a little slower so you can hear it again. Play it fast. That's a couple of different ways to think about shifting. Ooh, do you remember we did? So here in 23, we really take advantage of that idea. You understand? 1-4. Now, so far, all of these shifts have had intermediary notes, guide notes, to help us figure out where we were on the fingerboard. But what about this one? How in the world are we going to figure out? I guess we're going to have to use a violin to help us guide. If you see where my finger is, it's halfway between here and the end of the fingerboard. Maybe I could use that as a guide. What else could I do? Ooh, I could use my elbow. Maybe that could help me or give me more information. What about my thumb? It's here. In other words, I'm going to use every part of my body to help build awareness so that I can understand where to go. So what about this etude in Fiorio? It's number 13. Okay, so we've got, which of course we could do to help us figure out where it was. We could use our third finger to figure out where we're going. And again, this one is so cute. Here, let me play it for you. And now with the second finger. back to the first and third. So we're really getting sort of a Yost-like feeling for what kind of pressure we need, what the speed pattern to be able to do. Okay, what about this one from Road, number 11? What do we have? As we're going up, our elbow is going under, so here. The elbow is moving up and around. So that's just sort of a quick tour of shifts that we can find in Etudes. So why don't we take it to pieces now? What about we start with Lalo, Symphony Espagnole? We know what I'm talking about. How am I going to find it? Well, I guess I could practice like that, huh? I'm using these to help figure out what the distance is. Here we go. Well, you know what I think I just did? I think I just put together a little practice regime, you know, one that we could do, say, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 minutes every day to help us to find those notes in Lalo. I think I probably do it before I actually tried to play it bin ritmato. All right, what about Bruch, the second movement? Just like the Lalo, except slower. Here we go. I betcha I could practice it the same way. Ooh, but if we look a little further, it comes down. Led by what? Led by my elbow, even though it does look like it's coming from my fingers or from my wrist. I'm actually throwing it this way. Oh, here's a favorite. What about from Mendelssohn? Second movement, the concerto. Now, there are lots of ways we can do it. We could do, which is what I did. You could do, you could use another finger. Just depends on your taste, what you want to do. Now, if we chose, then we've got to figure out where our elbow is going. And because we're staying there, the elbow is going to stick around, of course. Now, I think showing you this probably is worth 1,000 words, but just so that you understand, I've mapped out my path. I'm going to go to the F. How can I do it? Too many notes. So, I mapped out how to get there. Same thing with fourth finger. Another favorite. From Prokofiev. Again. Good look at the speed pattern. That one didn't work. Probably safer. So probably a fast to slow. Many things to look at. Many things to consider. I guess the biggest issue is just to be aware. Oh. Here's one to consider. This is from Sibelius. In fact, I have a story because I entered this competition. It's a fairly big competition, but I entered it, and just before I was about to play Sibelius, one of the judges looked at me and said, "Could you please start from the B flat just before the cadenza?" And I nodded, okay. I was really curious as to why he wanted me to start there. And as I came towards the end, I realized he wanted me to have a problem with the octaves. Of course I did. I didn't go to the next round. In any event, here we go. We got... How are you going to find it? I guess we have to be sure that we're going on the E string. Oh. So this path is the determining factor. In fact, if we connect everything we've talked about before, you could probably come up with the solution by yourself. At least that's my hope. That's my reason for doing these videos, so that we can make those connections.